Welcome to the 2024 presidential debate sponsored by KFC. It's finger-licking good if Donald Trump fucks your wife. We're not going to waste any time. We're going to get straight to it. Two presidents and only one will walk out on top of your mother or possibly your sister. We're going to ask both of you some questions regarding the country state right now. I need honest answers. Donald Trump, you get 2 minutes to answer, and Joe Biden gets 30 seconds before his dementia starts to kick in after Trump assassinates him with biblical quotes and facts. This first question is for Trump regarding on health care. Mr. Trump, you said that if elected, you would cut out legitimate wages on the processed foods that's killing Americans. What's your plan to keep Americans to stay healthy, and how would you cut out the excessive amount of sugar that Americans consume on a daily basis?
If I'm elected, I will make everyone go on a diet and replace all the junk in local stores and replace it with fruit snacks and milkshakes. Okay. The population is dying because of junk food, and Joe Biden wants Americans to suffer by eating 10 pounds of cheesecake from a fat lady's ass crack in the back of White Castle. I would take out every fast food restaurant and replace it with high-rise buildings. The roaches will be moved to a very secluded area and sent back to the Philippines. Biden is allowing 7-inch mosquitoes and 8-foot rats into this country. He will wipe out the population and make America starve again.
Mr. Biden, what are your plans to stop Americans from eating processed foods and junk? Will there be a change in what local stores and restaurant businesses to have better service for the general public?
First things first, he's a liar. Mr. Trump has a well-known history to the cockroaches. He will build 4 walls. 4 walls, okay, he will demolish a beautiful organization of waste and dump that belongs to the roaches and rats that are living in New York City and all across the country. The rats are not bothering anybody. Leave them alone, period.
Can you answer the question, what are your plans to stop Americans from eating junk?
He wants people to go on a diet by consuming milkshakes. I think that is the fastest way for them to become obese. It's a very terrible idea. Mr. Trump is setting you up to put more sugar into your bloodstream by drinking 30 grams of protein every day. I would keep the fast food market on a high salary by providing legitimate plant-based foods that is healthy and it won't come from a cow's ass.
Mr. Trump, what is your feedback?
Everything this guy says is completely doo-doo. Everything he says is caca. If you look at the average person, more 1 billion people worldwide, or 1 in 8 people were living with obesity in 2022. This includes 879 million adults and 159 million children and adolescents. Obesity rates have more than doubled among adults and quadrupled among children and adolescents since 1990. Joe Biden will have restaurants serve you rat liver. Okay, he will wipe out all the heavy-set people before they even get a chance to die themselves from diabetes. He's an evil candidate, and I don't respect him.
Thousands of schools are serving spoiled milk from a cow's ass as we speak. What are your plans to provide better food service in schools, and how will you change the innocent stomachs of hungry children? Biden, we'll start with you, then Trump can follow up.
We wouldn't be serving milk from a cow's ass to hungry children if Trump would have signed that FR letter back in 2020. These kids are being fed by the hands of a convicted felon who decides to run for president just to destroy more innocent lives. If I'm elected, I will make sure all the schools eat bread and eggs with orange juice every morning. Trump wants to starve our children with dead cow ass and meatless roosters, and I won't allow it. I'm cutting out the milk at local stores because it's abusing our animals' equal rights to have milk inside of their boobs. Trump is a criminal killer, and our juices will be stroked correctly with provided care for our families. Say no to cows, period.
This guy knows so much about cows, I tell you that. The milk is contaminated in our schools because Biden keeps putting breast milk from convicted mothers into the school's wages. Over 500,000 convicted mothers donate milk to schools across the country, and you wonder why our kids get sick. You can eliminate the cows, but if you eliminate our women, our kids will go hungry. Orange juice has high potassium blood sugar levels that make you go crazy like a child with ADHD from a methadone clinic. Joe Biden will ruin this country.
Let's talk about pollution since we're on the topic of liquids. There's been 50 million cases of squid ink disease by the HDA in the last course since Biden was elected. Over 20 million people died from contaminated waters in the oceans and water pipes of houses across the West Coast. Mr. Biden, what are your plans to help stop contaminated water being brought into our systems? How can we provide safe measures when in contact with deadly diseases?
Number 1, we need clean water.
No
shit. Number 2, we need to eliminate the water pipes that are ruining our homes that has been there for thousands of years. Every pipeline will be replaced and stabled for a safer environment. The oceans will be wiped out. Local pools and beaches will be executed to be refilled with clean, safe water from the Pocono Mountains. More H20 spring water will be provided, and Poland Spring will be mandatory for the public to drink in secluded areas like parks and local stores. There will be a secondary pool for kids to use the bathroom instead of peeing inside the original pool. Sharks will be limited, and the diseases will have vaccines approved by the FDA to make sure no viruses is spread.
This guy's a joke. He's getting rid of millions and millions of contaminated water just to put more contaminated water back into the oceans. 20 million more people will die when Joe Biden replaces all pool and ocean water with 50,000 pounds of Poland Spring water being dumped in. Biden wants more deadly diseases, deadliest than the African mosquito, to poison our ecosystem. If I'm elected, fresh, clean, real H20 will be provided across 7 countries, and Joe will be left with his 20 million bottles to bathe in when he goes back home to Philadelphia.
Mr. Biden, why is a secondary pool being provided for kids to take a piss in?
Number one, our main pool needs to be completely clean and carefree, period. Number two, sometimes if you're deep in the pool, it might be hard to access the bathroom right away, which is why if you know you got to use the bathroom, you would got to go take a piss inside the pee pool instead of the main one.
Why are you allowing children to pee inside a pool? You see what I'm talking about? He doesn't care about the waters. He's literally contaminating our waters by using kids as live bait so they don't have to use public bathrooms. Disgusting, very nasty behavior.
The pool is designed for when you can't get out of the water in time to make it to the bathroom. That's why they're peeing in there. Who's going to run 20 feet away to the bathroom from a pool you already done pissed yourself?
Okay, let's switch gears real quick. Mr. Trump, some of the public wants to know, what would you do if we ever encounter any aliens or extraterrestrial beings on planet Earth? Then the whole public wants to know, if aliens are proved to be existed, is it possible to keep one as a pet?
I cannot confirm anything about no alien on behalf of the government. That's a federal crime. But I believe that Joe Biden will release information about the extraterrestrials, which is why he's a terrible candidate for this election. Biden will cause World War III with either Russia or the extraterrestrials. Biden will sign into law that if you catch an illegal alien in the United States, you must have it approved by the state and the FBI before you can claim it as a pet, because they are dangerous creatures, and I believe they should be taken seriously. Biden will have Americans be replaced by aliens before they turn back into civilized monkeys. This country will move backwards, not forward.
Mr. Biden, your response?
If I took an alien and made it read Donald Trump's social security numbers, it would be the smartest creature in the history of the United States of America. Aliens are the biggest threat to the American people, more than any terrorist that has invaded this country.
This guy is the biggest hypocrite the world has ever seen. My little nephew that is 5 years old, who just graduated in NYQ, can read an entire dictionary with his eyes closed. Mr. Biden cannot name the 7 planets that are above us right now. I can name 5, 10 terrorists that are far more dangerous than the extraterrestrial. The extraterrestrial is still dangerous, but it cannot compare to someone that is pure evil, and that is Joe Biden and our country's enemies.
We're going to move on. Let's talk about transportation. Now, Mayor Adams promised to eliminate the homeless from NYC public systems, but you still see these bums are now making TikToks on the trains. People are complaining about crackheads cooking rocks under the train seats, and more mentally disturbed people are causing violence within our system. Mr. Biden, I'm going to start with you. What are the plans to keep the homeless off of our NYC subway systems?
Okay, first off, these people need to be provided with professional help from healthcare services, period. The economic agenda is to spot and search down every homeless person we can find and immediately escort them off our system, no matter how their situation is. The NYC subway is supposed to be a safe environment for the public, and I will demand that we take down the crackheads from blowing rock into our systems and causing disturbances.
You're not quite following through the questions. How are you going to solve this? Is what the public wants answers to. How the hell are you going to get rid of the homeless in our transportation system?
That's the problem. He cannot do it. He cannot control our city system.
Excuse you, it's not your turn to speak. I will have law enforcement officers and officials detect every mental patient we can find in our system and held them into custody until a safe environment is provided to them.
How the hell is this guy going to arrest innocent homeless people off our transit system? They're literally homeless.
If I'm reelected, I will spend billions and billions and billions of dollars to provide immediate evaluation and evacuation of anyone that causes a major threat to our public transportation system.
What the hell he's going to do, send 5 million homeless bums all to Rikers Island under one cell? Biden cannot control a lifetime supply of the homeless environment. He will have to wipe out the entire transit system or sign a ban in place for legitimate legal action.
I will do more for the homeless than Trump relaxing on a Sunday afternoon playing golf on his fireplace TV screen he has installed inside his kitchen.
Joe Biden wishes he can afford my mother's ashes, so he resurrect her from the dead to help take me out of office.
We're going to move on.
Joe Biden is the worst president this country has ever seen. He will eliminate and wipe out the entire population.
Mr. Trump, that's enough. Thank you. We need to talk about equal rights next.
Joe Biden does not care about the American people. I've done more for people, especially blacks and Hispanic people, during my run.
Absolutely nothing. You're going to strip the people of their equal rights and send them to Afghanistan to fight in the war.
Gentlemen, that's it. We're going to move on.
Can I just say one more thing?
Yeah, you're a terrible candidate for this country.
If you elect Joe Biden, he will take out the BLT and bacon, egg, and cheese sandwiches from local stores, and everybody knows that is New Yorkers' favorite
Around
foods.
6 in 10 U.S. adults, 58% hold that view today, up from 47% at the beginning of Joe Biden's presidency in 2021.
Exactly, he's killing billions and billions of innocent people.
The only thing I eliminated was his savage mindset of taking control of this country. He's a savage, and he's a Bubba Hubba tomato baby who will sign the young African Americans to war.
Biden wants more guns so he can start the war, not finish it.
Gentlemen, one at a time, please. We need to know, how are you going to help stop world leaders from anticipating war on the United States?
He wants the wars to happen. He signed an executive deal to carry illegal firearms to the general public.
A lot of ops invade our city every day. Guns are mandatory in the states. You cannot purchase a gun unless you are law
He
enforcement.
wants to give the Hispanic and African American people weapons to eliminate each other, period.
Everything this guy says is more waste that comes out of my white ass, period. Trump will make you go to war. Even if you're 10 months old, he wants the American population to fight for him, not against him.
Okay, moving on. What's your plan on eliminating the increase of deadly viruses and dangerous air quality we faced in the last 3 years?
Joe Biden is allowing the deadly mosquitoes to invade our country. This is their territory. He doesn't care.
A porn star will cause more deadly viruses to any American, period. Trump is setting himself up for a very, very bad time.
Joe Biden opened up the border to allow the immigrants to torture the Americans, and the mosquitoes followed after.
We will have the biggest and bestest air quality ever been. More than Sandy Cheeks trying to catch her breath underwater. Everyone will be qualified for vaccination if any deadly disease is spread in the country.
You see what I'm talking about? He wants more deadly needles being approved. He's gonna make everybody sick.
Mr. Trump, what are your plans about deadly insects invading our country?
I will exterminate every type of bug that moves in, period. The people will be required for extermination as part of the Trump bug plan beginning next year.
This guy talks the most crap than any shit that floats inside the toilets. You can't eliminate 1 million deadly bugs by extermination through a Netflix clone plan. You have to provide these bugs to be studied before be killed. An insect can carry a cure more than a disease.
If you elect Joe Biden, 1 million cockroaches and water bugs will flood our economy faster than finding the cure to his dementia.
You put a cockroach in front of Trump, he's going to start the bid at $1 billion.
Biden wants more deadly weapons and deadly diseases to ruin our country.
Okay, we're going to move on. Let's talk about the war again. Trump says that Biden would start World War III for legalizing weapons, but Biden says that Trump will most likely start a war because of his relationship with Vladimir Putin.
That's right, Trump wants to go to war. Just look at the Palestinians. The Palestinians are dying, and they will continue to die out in the hands of Trump because he will not stop Israel from attacking.
I know dozens of world leaders. Putin will not go to war with the United States because I paid him billions and billions of dollars to a settlement to leave us
He's a
alone.
big-faced liar. He gave that money to American taxpayers, and he got bankrupt because of his conviction. How can you run for president of the United States when your ass is going to jail?
I'm going to ask that we do not use foul language at this time of the conference.
Look at him, very unprofessional, very, very bad candidate for this country. I feel so bad the United States has put up with his
If you
nonsense.
elect Donald Trump, he's going to raise your taxes and get rid of free Medicare and Medicaid for the lower class people and anyone affected by the world's crisis.
I care so deeply about our people. I will sign to law that everyone gets paid fairly up to $20 an hour for all jobs.
Why do you think Mr. Trump is going to take away people's funds?
Because he's a Republican, and that's what Republicans do. It is their job to make everything cost more and to take away our rights to basic legitimate health care. He wants us to suffer, and he doesn't care how bad your condition is or how sick you are. He will put you to work and endorse free labor.
I'm telling you, if you elect Joe Biden, you will continue to be living in hell. This guy talks a lot of crap.
Okay, we're moving on. You had sexual relations with a porn star and you went to trial. Tell us, why did you do that as a former president of America?
I did not have no sexual relations with any woman.
This man has put his orange carrot inside the woman, but he denies this because he doesn't want to tell the world he has another daughter like Drake hiding his son from the rest of the world.
This man is so full of cock, it's so embarrassing to this country, and I promise you he'll not be running again.
Trump has hid more baby mothers than the evil nuns in the 1600s when they were having relations of incest inside local churches. Trump will ban abortion for all people.
All the voters in the United States do not like Joe Biden. This is a proven fact.
He doesn't even care about equal rights or gay rights. He doesn't care about the people, and he will make this country jiggle and wiggle like worms from a dead corpse. He will destroy all humankind.
I done more good than bad for the American people. Joe Biden is dragging everyone to a black hole, and he's sucking us into his traps and lies.
Okay, we got to move on to your final conclusion statements. You each get about 2 minutes to finish your debates, but you are also allowed to not use the entire time. So Biden, let's start with you.
I will fight for the people. I will
He
fight for our
can't
world and
even
get down
fight.
to all the problems we are currently facing today. I'm telling you, Trump is a liar and a hypocrite. He will demolish this country state and carry it under his wing and drag you all to legitimate hell.
You've been president for 3 years. Why do you want to fix our problems now? Why you want to lead our
I
country
will show
now?
everyone and all Trump supporters I have a strong campaign that will unite our people together, and we will fight against Trump's sadistic acts of horror and stupidness for good.
Trump, your final thoughts?
Biden will cost billions and billions of debt to the American people. I will strongly execute all of his plans for this country.
He still doesn't even pay his taxes. When was the last time you seen him file the IRS or give back any money?
I'm worth billions of dollars.
You're not worth $1 billion if you're a convicted felon who had sexual relations with an adult star to grief about your cheating wife.
Joe Biden is the biggest scumbag this world has ever seen. The whole country knows he's wasting billions and billions.
If you vote for me, I promise this country will be 1,000 times better than the 4 years he ran.
Biden is keep letting criminals into our border. Why do you think I was trying to build the wall in the first place?
If this guy builds a wall, I promise all the immigrants that came here will not be allowed to travel back home.
The wall is for immigrants to not enter the border, you stupid idiot.
Okay, I'm on need y'all to just chill out for a second.
Just one more thing, because all he cares about is leading our country for more terrible years to come.
He's been talking a lot of diarrhea this whole debate, and you guys want him as president? That is very unacceptable and inexcusable.
If you give Joe Biden an edible, he's going to think his anxiety attack is a living nightmare for decades to come.
You gentlemen are acting like a bunch of fourth graders.
If I'm elected, I will ban porn and get the young people affected by the bad things on social media the professional help they deserve. I will also ban Trump Tower and the headquarters that made the book for dummies.
He's mad because he can't date a porn star.
Okay, thank you, gentlemen, for being here tonight. That concludes our presentation. We're going to take a commercial break, and we'll be right back with that porn star and file on Trump's IQ levels for this debate. We'll get Joe Biden some Benadryl and a pack of Skittles in a moment. Don't lose the remote and make sure to turn off your TVs.